What's up everyone, it's Evan at Fit First here in Burnaby, back with another shoe review. As always, we're reviewing these shoes as a shoe fitter, how it's fitting on the sales floor, how I can use it to fit different shaped feet, and then also how it's performing while you're out walking, running, and living your life in the shoe. Today we're talking about the hotly anticipated Glycerin 22. The Brooks Glycerin 22 comes out February 2025. And the Glycerin, let's talk about Brooks in general. Brooks has really got a lot of momentum in the fitting running shoe world right now, to the point where people are coming into the store asking for Brooks. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I would be begging people to buy Brooks. Now it's all about that demand that they've built up. They've, had some great success with some of their athletes that are out there, but more importantly, it's the fit. That is the number one thing that is driving this brand forward, is their attention to detail, their innovation with foams, and the fit that they're offering their guests or their customers. I love it as a shoe fitter because it gives me this versatility. Wide foot, narrow foot, somebody who needs a deeper heel, somebody who needs a softer forefoot and a firmer heel. All of those things are available to us in Brooks. So that's awesome to see, especially in a shoe. For me as a shoe fitter, this is a fit brand. This is not a marketing brand, although it's a big part of their business. This is all about fit, R&D, technology. So Brooks being true to that sort of fit store like us, or that fit experience, the Glycerin 22 is here. We're really excited about some of the features. Let's dive into it. If we look back to the Glycerin 21 with that DNA loft foam, basically what Brooks is doing, it's really cool. They're taking these tiny hard pieces of foam and injecting it with nitrogen. The more they inject it with nitrogen, the kind of bigger it gets, and either the softer or kind of bouncier it gets. So they can really play with, not putting as much nitrogen in, it's a firmer experience. Putting a little more in, it's this bouncier experience. And they can kind of play with that. So that was an awesome update that we saw in the 21. It made for this really kind of bouncy, springy, nitrogen-infused foam. This is really exciting because now we can take this shoe and not just say, oh, you like soft, you have to buy this shoe, or you like firm, you have to buy this shoe. This is where we can really dial in and say, oh, do you like soft in the heel and firm in the forefoot? And who knows what they're coming out with next, but this is a shoe that is offering that. It's really nice and plush in the heel, but gives this kind of snappy, firm, sort of structured feel as you toe off. So DNA tuned, really love to see again them working off this momentum, bringing it into these models that are a little more approachable. We saw it for the first time back in fall of 2024 in the Glycerin Max. This is going to be niche. This is satisfying a need and allowing that Brooks fan, or that person who's fan of crazy high cushion, to find it from Brooks. That's where I'm going to put my money on, or I'm going to invest in that Glycerin 22 series. So they're going to trickle down some of that high-end technology and the DNA tuned. So the heel in the Glycerin 22 is going to be kind of bigger cells, a little more nitrogen infused, and a kind of bouncier, squishier landing in the heel, and kind of that plush experience as you come down, especially towards the end of your run. In the forefoot, they're going smaller cells, so a little bit less nitrogen infusion, and therefore it's this kind of snappy toe off. Really kind of finishes off your stride, gets you through the forefoot a little bit quicker, and isn't going to be swampy or kind of mushy underfoot in that area. Let's talk about the upper. What we're noticing a change from the 21 is this kind of aesthetic look that we actually saw in the Glycerin 21 knit. They made like a lifestyle version that had this knit upper. So I really love how they're bringing this kind of crossover. They know we're running in these shoes, we're also living in these shoes. We're grabbing a beer with friends, we're sitting down to coffee, we're going out running errands, chasing the kids around, etc. So aesthetically, a big upgrade. It looks better. It looks richer, if you will. The heel, the tongue, way more padded than the old version. So this is gonna really feel comfort, soft, forgiving, and really lock that heel in. A ton of this kind of memory foam. It's gonna feel narrow and snug without being too tight in the heel. And then as we move forward into the forefoot, they're keeping this amazing like knit, stretch upper. There's durability, there's a few layers there, so you aren't gonna punch through the upper too quickly. They've kept it wide. Brooks is staying dedicated as a fit brand. They're offering this from like narrow, medium, wide, extra wide, so you can get that fit if you need it. And we're gonna be able to accommodate forefoot challenges with this shoe. Again, what I love to see when we get into these kind of higher cushion shoes, a nice solid base. Nothing that's too narrow or slim through that midfoot in particular. You should feel grounded. You should feel in control. You should feel light. You should feel bouncy. You should feel like going out and exercising and moving your body in this shoe. And then again, what about the Glycerin? Where does this shoe fit in for me as a shoe fitter or a runner? This is an awesome everyday shoe. This is great for your slog of a 10K if you're doing that a couple times a week. And honestly, I know it's not carbon plated, I know it's not fancy. This has got more than enough in it to get into that half and full marathon. Are there better, more, dialed in options for that 15K and above? For sure. You can get into the plated stuff and into the pseudo plated stuff. This is not what the Glycerin is about. This is about comfort. This is about reliability. This is about a versatile shoe that you can kind of do a bit of everything in, but will take you all the way from that 10K and beyond. Again, if you want to dial in and spend that much more money and really get into plated, it's waiting for you. Not all of us are there. Again, Brooks, a fit brand. I love that they're kind of taking these shoes, these big heritage core shoes, and offering us a GTS version. So the GTS, or the go-to support, they're gonna make the Glycerin 22 and the Glycerin go-to support, or the GTS 22. That way we can kind of fit that neutral foot who doesn't need as much control in the Glycerin 22, or if we need to, we can get that go-to support option, or the GTS option, and that helps somebody who has a little bit of an overpronated foot. Even, to be honest, it's gonna stop a foot from falling off the lateral side as well. It's such a great tool for me as a shoe fitter. Again, I can bring out the non-GTS and the GTS version, have a guest try it on, experience what a little more firmness and support feels like, what a little bit less firmness and support feels like. We can watch them walk, watch them run, and kind of assess their needs, listen to their feedback on feel and preference, listen to what they're experiencing 30 and 60 minutes into their runs, and maybe that Glycerin GTS is the better option. Or maybe they're trying to wean off support and they're moving from the GTS into the more standard version. But that GTS series should not be overlooked. It's in the Glycerin. We can now find that Glycerin 22, Glycerin GTS 22. It's available for us. It's fitting really well in the store. Let's dive a little more into, Glycerin Max, which is a new shoe, and Glycerin 22. So Glycerin Max came out, again, late fall of 2024. This thing is robust. It's thick, it's squishy, it's heavy. It is your long, slow runner trainer. They're coming in colorways that are tough to get away as a work shoe or an everyday sort of shoe. They're faster, they're brighter, they're younger, if you will. But this was their first introduction to the DNA tuned foam, where we can kind of make the shoe a little more plush and a little firmer. So a plush soft heel, firmer forefoot strike. But this Glycerin 22 is really gonna deliver this versatile, comfy, forgiving, soft yet supportive sort of option. And let's not forget the Glycerin series they're continuing to make in the kind of standard and the GTS version. So what we'll also see from Glycerin 22 is the Glycerin 22, which is gonna be great to control somebody who has maybe a bit of a folding or flattened arch, or needs a little more stability or control. Those guide rails really lock your foot in and stop that foot from either falling off the lateral side or falling into the medial side of the shoe. So we can, again, as a fit brand, we can use that Glycerin series and fit you for either more of a neutral foot or a more of an overpronator's foot, and really find our feel, tune in the experience from the heel to the forefoot. This model goes up $10 from the 21, so it's up to $210 now. I'd like to say chalk it up to all of this crazy innovation, but it's probably more inflation than anything. But there are some more features in this shoe compared to its older version that are of value, that really make a difference. So the Glycerin 22, we are so excited to finally get it in store. Come on down, give it a try. Let us know what you think. If you've worn the Glycerin in the past and you're not sure about the changes, give us the feedback, try it on. We want to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening. We can't wait to see you on the next video, and we'll see you next time.